Hi, welcome to yoga. My name is Lindsay McDougall. Thanks so much for joining me today. And we will be finishing our 4-session series on Vashistasana and variations today. So we're going to start with our traditional warm-up, have a block and a strap with you, and we'll start lying on our backs. So have your block about midway off your mat and a strap nearby, and we'll start in Shavasana. On the back with the arms open and legs relaxed. And bring one hand to the abdomen and take a deep breath. And exhale. Sinking in here, let the back of the head and the hips be heavy and the heels of the feet. Take another deep breath in. And exhale. Really feel that hand that's on the abdomen bobbing up and down with the breath. Expanding the breath into the abdominal cavity, into the hips, into the low back. And calming down the mind, coming out of the mind and into the breath, into the body. Relaxing the eyes, the jaw, the neck, any muscle tension. Taking another deep breath here. Exhaling all the way out. And as you do so, the tip of the tongue rests behind the upper palate of the front teeth. Let's take another deep inhale, starting at the bottom of the breath, bottom of the abdomen. Filling up into the entire chest, biggest breath. Hold at the top and exhale. Exhaling completely until you feel that engagement of the core. And then breathe normally, coming to your intention today. Gathering in all your energy, gathering in all your collected sense of self, all the fragments and pieces. Bring them in together, into your heart, into who you are. In this moment, arriving fully. Taking a deep breath here. And exhaling. Good, and then inhale, reach the arms behind the head, get nice and long, pull in the abdomen, draw the navel center to the back body. Tuck the chin, reach the heels away. And exhale, bend the right knee, give it a hug, or pulling it towards the right armpit, and then out to the side a little bit. At an angle to the right. And then exhale, cross it over the body, opening up the right arm. Just a casual twist here, letting the right knee cross over. And inhale, back to center, give the right knee a hug. Exhale, switch sides, left knee in, pull it into the chest, and then track it over to the left, creating a little diagonal. Exhale, press the tailbone down, reach the heels away, pull the abdomen in. On your next exhale, Bring the knee across the body and casually coming over to the right side. Open up the left arm. Just a visit here in a twist. And exhale, bring that right knee in. And release. And then grab your strap. And just like I demonstrated last week, we're going to bring the strap around the right heel. So it's going to wrap around the outside of the ankle. And then you're going to grab it inside of the ankle. So I'm demonstrating here, it should be outside the ankle. And then your block is going to be off to the right, hips height, arms distance. You may need to adjust it. Extend the right heel with the right hand grabbing inside, both hands grabbing inside the heel. And activate that heel. Pull in on the navel center, stream energy out the inner thighs. And then bring that right hand, the thumb of the right hand to the hip. And press the groin crease, the hip crease of the right hip down towards the left heel. So it creates a nice, long, lean leg. And then take your right hand to the inside of the strap, left hand to the floor, and externally rotate the right leg over to your block. So I have to adjust my block a little bit higher than my hip, and my outer shin is going to come rest on the block. So feel that inner thigh engage, the toes are pointing down. The navel center is moving towards the left hip, towards the left side of the body. And you can feel that balance on the sacrum as you extend both of the heels and draw the navel center in. Right hip is coming down. So turning the toes towards the floor, notice what that does to the right hip. It can more easily, the right side of the sacrum, the right hip can more easily turn down, flattening out the low back, keeping the low back safe. So keep this in mind with the heel. Inhale, bring that foot up, grab the left hand with the strap, right hand comes down, and then cross the right leg across the body just enough so that you start to feel that stretch in the right outer hip, but don't completely fall over to the left side. I want to keep that right sacrum contacted with the floor. So nice warm up for the hamstrings, the outer hip. And exhale, bend the right knee, switch sides. Bring that block to the left side. Maybe a little higher than hip height if you know your measurements. And then taking both sides of the strap, just take a nice wrap around the heel there, and then grab both hands to the strap. Inhale, get nice and long. Exhale, press the heels away. Navel center in and down. Take the strap in the right hand and then bring that left thumb to the groin crease of the hip crease of the left thigh, the left hip. And then pull that thumb down, straightening the arm so that you feel that length through the hip flexor, the calf, the hamstring. Just getting that contact, and then you can even start to feel this in your core. So let's take the strap in the left hand, externally rotate the left leg, right hand comes to the floor, and then coming out with the left leg until you reach the block. And then notice how the right hip's trying to come up. So we want to engage the navel center, pull the navel center over to the right, press down through the right leg, right side of the body. And then externally rotate the left leg so the toes are pointing down more. You're getting that stretch in the inner knee and the hamstring, which should feel really good. And then the low back is lengthening as the outer hip is moving down. So find your Supta Vashistasana here. Lengthen the breath. Notice the navel center as a fulcrum and a nice long low back here. Good. Inhale, let's reach the leg back up to center, bring the strap into the right hand. Left hand comes down, and then we're just going to cross the leg past the midline about 30 degrees or so, keeping the left sacrum on the mat. And already just that little tide change across the midline is going to create a nice stretch in the hip. And again, notice what the left hip is doing. Can we pull that left hip down, engage the inner thighs, inner legs rolling back and down. Notice what this does to the navel center. Good, and exhale, bend the knee, release the strap, and let's come into child's pose here. You put your props to the side, knees wide, arms out nice and long. Drop the head, drop the center of the heart, roll the outer shoulders down. And then inhale, lift the hips, rolling onto the top of the head. We're going to come to rabbit pose. Bring the hands to the heels as you roll to the top of the head and lift the hips. And just feel a nice stretch in the upper back. So coming into child's pose again, bring the knees together, hands grab the heels, forehead comes down, rolling to the top of the head, lift the hips. For more of a neck stretch, you can tuck the chin and press the back of the head to the front of the mat. Good. And exhale, come down. Inhale, extend the arms, come into tabletop. Bring the left leg out to the side, and then exhale, lean back into your hips. So it's like doing child's pose, but with or puppy pose, but with the left leg out to the side. Navel center is facing down. Engage the left inner thigh. Inhale, come back up. Come to tabletop. Inhale, lengthen the chest. Exhale, curve the back, tuck the chin. Inhale, neutral spine, right leg comes out, hips width, feet flat. Exhale, lean back into your hips. And then find that nice length on the inner right thigh. Navel center down, lifted chest. Exhale, back to tabletop. Inhale, lift and lengthen in cow. Exhale, curve the back into cat. And roll the neck, look side to side. We want to remember our side ribs here. And moving intuitively, warming up the spine, cat-cow. Exhaling, inhaling extension, and then tucking the toes under. Let's make our way to downward facing dog. Good. Heel out your down dog. Roll the outer shoulders down. Thumbs and pointer finger are pointing parallel to the front of your mat. Inhale, plank pose. Hold. Can you bring the right leg up and the left hand up? Maybe you can do just the right leg and the fingertips of the left hand. See, can you balance with one alternating leg, alternating arm? Switch sides. Plank pose. Lengthen the chest, elbows back, hips lifted. Lift the left leg. Nice long abdomen. Right arm comes forward. Just playing with our balance a little bit. Exhale, plank pose. Bend the elbows, come forward, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, come to Sphinx Pose. Elbows under shoulders, lift and lengthen the chest, pull the outer shoulders back. Kneecaps are lifted and off the mat. And when you do that, that creates more dynamic with the low back. Sacrum can tuck, abdomen can lift, extension can become more full. Good. Exhale, lower down. Reverse knees, chest, chin, tuck the toes under. Make your way to downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, lift the left leg behind you. Exhale, bring it up to 3/4 of your mat with the toes pointing off to the side. And then rock to the outer right heel as you lift your left arm. So Vashistasana variation. You feel a nice, yummy stretch in the left outer hip. Roll that right shoulder blade down the back by pointing the elbow towards the right foot. And then lift and lengthen the chest here. So it takes some pectoral strength, some bicep strength. But don't forget, we also want to be lifting the hips as well. Good. Exhale, plank pose. Inhale, look forward. Engage the abdomen. Nice long hip flexors, tailbone to heels. Exhale, reach forward with the chest, elbows in, lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, high cobra here. Engage the legs, tailbone down, extension. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pedal the feet out. Inhale, lift the right leg. Sweep it forward to 3/4 up the mat, and toes pointed off. Rock over to the left outer heel. Right arm lifts. Vashistasana variation on the left side. Press into the hand and the heel that are on the mat, lifting the hips. And then can you roll that chest forward and out using that elbow strength, oblique strength. Maybe even looking up at that hand. And exhale, lower the arm, come to plank pose. Get into a nice sturdy plank here, elbows back. Look forward, look where you're going. Feet together. Tuck the tailbone to lift the chest forward and out. And then come into your chaturanga. Inhale, high cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk the hands back to the feet. Grab opposite elbows, tuck the chin, and then inhale, bend the knees, and then lift the sits bones until you feel a widening in the back of the leg. And engage the kneecaps to bone. Engage the quadriceps, but let the upper body be soft. Imagine yourself squeezing out a tube of toothpaste from your hips and just letting the upper body lengthen from the low back. Good. Exhale. Walk it out to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg back. Sweep it forward, low lunge, look up. Left, the tailbone is down, the left leg is long. Inhale, get lighter on your fingertips to reach the chest forward. And then notice the left hip, the inner thigh, hip flexor is moving firmly towards the back of the mat. Exhale, left foot to meet right. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach all the way up. Coming to the top of your mat in mountain pose. Good. We'll start a little sun salutation. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, place the hands, hop or step back to chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, upward facing dog, navel to thumbs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lengthen the low back. Exhale, press into the heels. Inhale, reach the right leg back. Sweep it forward to the top of the mat. Look up, reach the chest up, inner thigh back. And exhale, left foot comes to meet it. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. On your exhale, cascade down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, place the hands, right foot back. Look up, reach the chest forward. Engage the lower back. Pull the sacrum up and back towards the right heel. Get light in those fingertips. Right inner thigh is rotating inward and back. And the chest is lengthening. So you're using your core muscles to lengthen the chest. It's not coming from the shoulders, it's coming from the front of the body. Getting nice and light. Okay, last breath. Exhale, take a vinyasa here. Plank pose, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg back. Sweep it forward to left wrist. Look forward. Get light. Lift the hips up. Exhale, right to meet left, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Mountain pose. Exhale, down. Good. Let's take our strap here. Coming into holding our toe pose. So getting heavy in both feet first, tucking the tailbone, lifting the chest, and then keeping the left hand on the hip. Bring that strap into the ball of the foot, bending the right knee, and then we'll extend the right leg long. So if you already have yogi toe hold, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, press the inner toe mound of the big toe away, and then lengthen the inner right leg. Good, let's open it out to the side. Looking over the left shoulder, dropping the right outer hip, externally rotating that right leg, heel away, and then coming back to center. Pull knee to nose. Release the strap, release the hold. Lift the arms with the leg lifted. And exhale down. Good, let's try this on the other side. Heavy in the right foot. Bend the left knee. Grab the toe or the strap. Right hand comes to hip. Extend, exhaling through the heel. Lift and lengthen the chest. Inner thighs roll back. Externally rotate the left hip, bringing that left leg out to the side. Look over your right shoulder. Using that heel power, hip power. Inhale back to center. Grab, keeping the toe hold or the strap. Bring the foot up towards the face, knee to nose. And then release, keeping the foot raised, arms lift up. And exhale, everything lowers down. Good. Let's come into our mountain at the top of the mat. Put the strap to the side, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, place the hands, hop or step back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Down facing dog. Inhale, right leg back. Sweep it forward to the right wrist. Left heel comes out, warrior two. So top of the front heel intersects back arch. Bend that front knee, but also keep an anchor and a heaviness in the back heel, the left heel. Hips are open externally. Exhale, reach into surrendered warrior. Bending into that right leg, lift and open up the chest to revolve towards the ceiling. Exhale, open up the arms, lengthen the right leg, and then heel toe the back foot in a bit to come into triangle pose. Reaching the right arm long, engaging both the quadriceps. Right hand comes to the shin or a block. And then remember what we did last week, where we pulled the sacrum down, the abdomen in, and that lengthened our whole front of the body so that we could rotate. So first get long before you revolve. Strong legs, long low back, and then revolve the waist and the chest. Good, inhale, come up. Star pose, heel toe the right foot to the long edge of the mat. Let's come to forward fold with wide legs, hands on the hips. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hinge forward. And then bring the hands on the midline that intersects the arches. And you might need to heel toe your feet a little bit wider. And then with your hands shoulder width, place the palms and then isometrically press the hands forward on your mat as you bring the top of your head down. And then internal rotation of the legs, lifting the sits bones. Shoulder blades come up the body. So imagine your tailbone is getting hung up on the ceiling, and it's creating a nice long line down the back. Good. Inhale, lengthen, look up. Heel toe the feet together if you need to. Hands on the hips. Come all the way up. Exhale, warrior two on the left side. Lift and lengthen the chest. Shoulders over hips. External rotation in both of the hips, and then tucking the left hip underneath so you have that support. Looking over the left middle finger. Really grounding into Mula Bandha here. Let's inhale, reverse the warrior. I like to bring my right hand behind my waist to the top of my left thigh, and then pressing that left hip down, reaching with my left arm, revolving the chest to revolve, to come into this surrender. And then exhale, warrior two, arms, straighten the left leg, heel toe the right in a bit to come into triangle, hinge the hips to the right, left hand comes on the shin or a block, engage the quadriceps, come up a little bit higher, get long in the low back, tailbone tucked to right heel, and then when that feels sturdy in our foundation, we can begin to revolve the chest. Maybe even if it feels good for the neck, looking up at the arm, fingertips, as if we're between two panes of glass. Good. Inhale, come up, star pose. Exhale, hands to hips. Rotate the feet towards the front of your mat again. Inhale, reach up the arms. And exhale, let's make our way to Vinyasa. Right foot back, plank chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, heels rock over to the right side. Lift the left arm. So we're in side plank here in Vashistasana. And then I want to focus on this right side of the body. So elbow back, chest lifted and forward, quads engaged. And then just pulse the left hip up 4 or 5 inches. And feel what that does to the right obliques. You're going to feel that right rib cage engage. You're going to feel the waist start to cinch on the right side as those hips come up, which is good. Take 4 or 5 pulses here. Just warming up those obliques. 2 and 1. Reach the arm long into the front of your mat. And then exhale, plank pose, take a vinyasa. Lengthen the front body. Exhale into downward facing dog. So in Chinese medicine, which is my profession, the gallbladder meridian is along the side of the body here. So as we're doing these kinds of Vashistasana work, we're really engaging the part of our body that sets the plan for the year. That is the initial movement into the spring. It's like the arrow that's being drawn back, and where are we shooting that arrow? This is the kind of the energetic nature of the spring and of the gallbladder official organ and meridian. Let's come forward into plank, dropping the heels over to the left side. Right arm comes up, tucking the tailbone down, engaging the quads, left elbow back, reach the chest forward, and then pulse, lifting the right hip, lowering it down. Lifting the hip, engaging the left side body, lowering it down. So we bring energy into the under the armpit. Take about 5 more, bringing that into the rib cage. That's engaging the obliques. And it's helping us to reach high. So my left side is my weak side. And I noticed last week when we were doing Vashistasana, it's important to get this dynamic down. It's coming from a deeper place in our core. Take 2 more. Good. Reach the arm in front of the mat, hold. Chest lifted out, and exhale. Drop the right arm, heel the feet back to center, and take a Vashistasana here. So notice that feeling coming out of this. Let's take a child's pose for a moment. That rushing feeling that you get in these kinds of side bends, side strengthening is exactly this energy of spring. I know we're in late January, but the Chinese New Year starts in early February, and we start to see some bulbs emerge, some tiny little sprigs of green sometimes, even on a snowy day. And this kind of rushing energy that feels really good in the body is a version of the springtime in our body, in our nature. Inhale, come to downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, lift the right leg. Bring it forward to the right wrist. And then we'll come into pyramid pose. Left foot comes about a foot in, not over crossing the legs. Hands on the hips, flat back, come to stand. So my feet are in entirely different columns on my mat, as I'm demonstrating from the front on. The back heel is lifted, but at like a 45 or so, maybe 65-degree angle. Left hip is tracking forward. We're engaging our quadriceps, kneecaps lifted, and then grab opposite elbows behind. If you know how to do reverse namaste and you want to bring those pinkies to touch and then leave that back of your hand up the back, that's also good. So we'll come into our pyramid here. Tuck the tailbone, engage the quads, lift the chest. Exhale, hinge forward to 45 degrees and stop. I'm feeling this in my right hamstring a little bit and in my back body. So keep that flat back. If this is as far as you go while keeping a flat back, stay here. If you can hinge more far down, which means allowing the back of the legs to be more flexible, then you can come down a little bit more. But I don't want the neck to be tucked. I don't want the upper body to be rounded. I want the chest and the heart and the collarbones to lead the whole spine forward. Imagine like we're doing a forward fold with one leg back. Okay, so ground into those heels. Lengthen the front body. Good. And then undo your elbows. Let's come into a twisted triangle here. Left hand can come to a block or to your shin inside the foot, or more traditional would be outside the foot. Right hand to the hip. And then right hip back. Lift and engage the core, lengthen the chest. And then when you have that strength through the legs and that length in the low back, then you can start to revolve the waist and the chest into your twisted triangle here. Good. And exhale, bring the right hand to the hip, left hand down. Bend the right knee and come into a low lunge here. And then come into Vashistasana variation. So the toes are coming off the mat. And then can you bring that right foot on top of the left heel? And then bring the right heel into tree posture. You can stay with the foot on the ground. You can stack the foot. Or even better, bring that heel inside the leg and then press the hips up. No matter where you are, press those hips up, engage the left side of the body, and exhale. Take a Vashistasana, take a Vinyasa here. Leaning back in downward facing dog. Okay, you still with me here? Doing some different stuff. Let's take this on the other side. Left leg lifts. Exhale, come to pyramid pose. Right foot comes in. Separate. Keep the feet, hips width wide. Right toes are 45, 60 degrees angled in. Hands on the hips. Let's take opposite elbows, or if you took reverse namaste on the other side, go ahead. Maybe take opposite elbows the weird way, the way that feels less natural. Okay, and then inhale, lift the quadriceps, lift the kneecaps, tuck the tailbone, lift the pubis and chest, and then exhale, hinge forward, inner thighs back, keeping the quads engaged, 45 degrees stop. Check in. Can you drop the right hip? Can you lift the left hip? Can you re-engage the quads? Finding that length in the back body. And then when you feel that length arriving, maybe come down another inch, maybe another 2, 4, or 5 inches. I don't want you to curve your back at all, so roll the shoulder blades down the back, reach from the heart and the chest. Oftentimes we get our strength from our back body, but then that makes our pecs and our abs weak. So we want to bring that tone into the front of the body to help us maneuver. Good. And then hands on the hips, left hand on left hip. Right hand can come to the shin, but probably easier is to a block or to the floor. Squeeze and lift and lengthen the quads. Get nice and long in the low back. Then when you feel good, inner thighs back, rotate to the ceiling. Maybe that left hand reaches up. Level 3 is going to have the pinky and the little toes matched up, so the hand's outside the foot. And then the trick is to lengthen the hips back And reach the chest forward. Good, and we know what's going to come next. Left hand on the hip, right hand back to the mat center, and then step the right foot back, Vashistasana variation, left toes point off the mat, outer right heel is pressing in, left arm lifts, just like we did before. Lift the hips, engage. Then you can bring the left foot to stack, and then from here, strong quads, lifted hips, right elbow back, bring that left heel up the inner thigh and press into the more full version here. Good. And exhale, Vashistasana. I did it again. Vinyasa, guys. Good. Inhale, come to your knees into tabletop. Sit back on your heels and bring that right foot forward. Heel toe the right foot straight, so we're going to come into Ardha Hanumanasana. So half monkey king pose. And then the hips are moving back. And if you feel pretty warmed up with the triangle and twisted triangle that we did, pyramid, you can gently just start to heel toe or shimmy that right heel further away and use the hands to keep the hips lifted to practice a little full Ardha Hanuman. The trick is to engage the right quad and roll the inner thighs down and back. And the hands are just keeping us supported, keeping us safe, the heart's lifted. So whether you're in Ardha, which is half here, and this is already very intense on the underside of the leg, that's great. If you want to heel toe that a little further, into more of the full splits, and then exhale will come out. Just a visit there. Optional vinyasa here, or just make your way to down dog. Drop the head, outer shoulders rolling down. Inhale, lift the left leg. Sweep it forward to the left wrist. Drop the right knee, and then shimmy that left heel into Ardha Hanuman. So my hands are framing my shin. I'm engaging and lifting my quadricep up into the hip, dropping that left hip, and reaching the heart forward, just like we did in pyramid. And if this feels good and you want to take it further, walk the hands up the mat, shimmy the heel even further, and then continue to expand the legs while you're keeping the quads lifted and engaged. So anytime we're doing this kind of a pose, we're using our hands to help balance the weight, and we're engaging Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor, Uddiyana Bandha, and we're lifting and reaching the heart. So find what works for you. Since this is the comfort of your home, you can start in Ardha, you can go to full split, and just find a really nice place where you're on your edge, but you're still breathing and you're still enjoying the posture. Good, and let's come to downward facing dog, optional vinyasa here. All right, now we're going to go straight into it. So down dog. Bring the feet together. Inhale, come forward to plank. Rock the heels over to the right side. Left arm comes up. Bring level 2. Bring your foot inside the leg and then press the hips up. From here, level 2, 3, bring that knee forward, grab the toe, and then press the heel away. When you feel good, lift the hips, lift the leg with it, tucking the left hip around and under. So there's that external rotation. And from here, exhale, hold the foot, pivot onto the ball of the right foot, and then bring that left heel down, and drop the right knee, come into your splits. Da, 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 da. And you can always come back to this class and try it again. So don't feel bad if you're in level 1 or level 2. This is just a challenge for you to enjoy your body more. So coming off to the side, swing your left foot around. Let's come into plank, take a vinyasa here. Upward facing and downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Look forward, feet together. Rock the feet over to the left, outer edge of the left foot. Feet are stacked, right arm lifts. So level 1, this could be your level 1. Level 1, 2, you're lifting the hips, and then the foot is resting on the calf and inner thigh. And then from here, level 2, level adventurous 2s and 3s, drop the knee to the side of your mat, grab the toe, and then shoot the heel out. From here, left obliques, lift the hips, and then reach the heel away. So, I'm a teacher and I'm like falling out of this pose, so just be patient with yourself. Try again. Shoot the heel out, lift the left side body, and then you can reach the heel to stack on top of the left hip, tucking the right hip under. And then from here, bring the heel around, pivot onto the left ball of the foot, drop the right heel on the mat, and bend the left knee, come into your Ardha or your full split. And here we are, trying some edges, working through it, breathing and enjoying the sweat. Good job, guys. Exhale, bend the right knee, swing it around behind. Let's come into child's pose. Knees wide, drop the forehead. Keep the tailbone tucked towards the heels. And just slowing down the heart rate here. Good. Inhale, come up to your tabletop. Ankles cross in front, and then bring the left knee on top of the right knee into cow face pose. So if this is, if cow face is too difficult, like I like to take the heel of my hands and press my knees together so that my knees are stacked. If this is too difficult, you can come to fire log pose, which is the left ankle on top of the right knee. And then if your left knee is kind of dangling there, you can bring a little bolster underneath the knee. And then from here, you can take opposite elbows. You can bring left elbow up and then grab right arm behind for a bind. So whether you're in fire log or cow-faced, find a grab with your hands or your elbows, and then we'll forward fold here. I'm going to do my left elbow up and my right grabbing in the bind. So in that posture, I'm going to be internally rotating my inner elbow and lengthening through the chest. Should feel nice for the outer hips in both leg positions. Shoulder blades down the back, elbows away. Can you come down a little bit further? A little bit more of an intense hip stretch there. Good, and inhale coming up. So the gallbladder meridian also goes down the sides of the IT band on the side of the hips. Switch sides. Left knee under, right knee on top in cow face, or right ankle on top of knee in fire log. And so the gallbladder really is like the direction that we're choosing to take. Switch sides, switch arms. Right arm up, left arm grabs in the bind, or grab opposite elbows in the weird way. And then exhale, folding forward, making sure to feel those hips, more so than anything, reaching the heart forward, elbows away, shoulders down the back. And so it's nice to open up this side body and these hips in Vashistasana to get the rush and the blood flowing. It really does feel like a rush, like a flow, like a strong flow of chi, of prana. So what direction, when we have this going on the sides of our body, where are we pivoting? Where are we pointing our arrow in our direction? What is our aim? How can we bring more kindness to ourselves, to others? Coming forward a little bit more. Good. Inhale, coming up. Also has to do with flexibility. Let's make our way to our backs. Noticing where we're flexible, the amount we can stretch is also a really good way to help us with our aim. How can we be flexible with our goals in order to achieve the result? Good. Let's take the heels to the hips, knees up. Come to a nice bridge pose. Lift the hips, tailbone to knees. Roll the upper shoulders underneath. And then take a clasp with the arms under the sacrum. Press into the upper arms, lift the hips. Lengthen the front body. Bring the weight into the shoulders, and then that engagement in the quads. Can you lift a little higher? Press into those heels, inner thighs down. Lengthen the abdomen. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And exhale. Roll it out. Windshield wiper the knees. Good. We'll take another one like that. Knees up, heels to seat. Press into the heels, inner thighs down. Roll the upper shoulders down and take a clasp or pin the fingertips under the heels. Press the hips up. Lengthen the abdomen. Engage the quads. Keep a nice long low back. Can you bring more weight into the tops of the shoulders, not the neck, but the shoulders? Inhale, lift a little higher. Exhale, roll everything out. Windshield wiper the legs. And grab knees, give yourself a hug. Be happy baby. Big toes to peace fingers, extending one leg and the other. And then from here, you can do Supta, Baddha Konasana, the lying down cobbler's pose with the feet together, and then the hands can reach under the thighs to grab the ankles. It's a nice heart opener, kind of the knees splayed out to the side, or you can come straight to your Shavasana. Another option would be knees up and wider, feet wider than the mat, knees knocking in. So find a nice version that you want to employ today. And since we are at time, I'm going to sign off. But I would like you to definitely stay in this restorative position to really augment your progress and ground in your body the amazing changes that you've made today and each week that you've been showing up. It's amazing. Many congratulations for your progress, and what you didn't think you could do, you are doing already, just in a short amount of time. So just think of where you used to be. It's so awesome. So with that, taking deep breaths, grounding in, enjoy your Shavasana. And I will see you next time. Namaste. So much love.